This week's podcast takes us on a deep dive on what we can expect to see in this month's sky. Whether you're a backyard observer with a trusty Dobsonian or a deep sky amateur chasing the perfect sub-exposure, you know that the heartbeat of the hobby is right here at the Northeast Astronomy Forum. I'm thrilled to introduce your guides for today's journey through the stars. Joining us first is Rockland's own Julian, a veteran of the night sky, whose expertise are in precision tracking and telescope optics. And alongside him, we have Elana Mikhailov, an educator from New York known for bridging the gap between complex data and the beauty of the night sky. Together, they bring a wealth of knowledge to our NEAF podcast. Julian, Elana, take it away.
Welcome to the deep dive. We've gone through a huge stack of sources, from observing guides to some pretty dense conference abstracts to pull out the absolute must-knows for the week of January 4th through the 11th, 2026.
And it is quite a week. It's almost all about the planets. There's some really incredible geometry happening up there, especially with our solar system's biggest player.
Okay, let's just jump right in then, because one event really does dominate the entire week. If you have clear skies, this is your moment. We're talking about Jupiter.
Precisely. The headline for this week, if we had one, would be Jupiter at its absolute best. On January 10th, the planet reaches what we call opposition.
Opposition. Okay, for anyone who might be new to that term, what does that actually mean for someone standing in their backyard looking up?
Well, it's really all about alignment. It's when Earth swings directly between Jupiter and the Sun.
A perfect straight line.
A perfect straight line. So think about it. The Sun sets in the west, and at that exact moment, Jupiter is rising in the east, fully lit. This does two amazing things for us. One, Jupiter is as close as it gets to Earth all year.
So it's bigger?
Much bigger. And two, it's fully illuminated from our perspective, so it shines at its absolute brightest.
So how bright are we talking? I mean, can you see this from a city with light pollution?
Oh, absolutely. It's shiny at magnitude minus 2.7. That is brilliant. It will be the brightest star-like object in the entire night sky, no question. And it's visible all night long. Rises at sunset, sets at sunrise.
That's incredible. And it's up in the constellation Gemini. But this isn't just the naked eye thing, is it? This is a week to break out the hardware.
Without a doubt. If you have any kind of telescope, even a really modest one, this is the week to dust it off. You'll easily be able to see Jupiter's two dark cloud belts, the equatorial bands.
And what about the Great Red Spot?
If the seeing is good, if the atmosphere is stable, you have a real shot at it. Just this famous storm that's bigger than our entire planet.
It's just mind-boggling.
It is. Yeah. And it's not just the planet. This is how Galileo really changed our view of the cosmos. He pointed his telescope at Jupiter and saw those four big moons.
The Galilean moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto.
Exactly. They look like these tiny little points of light all lined up. And this week, they're putting on their own show. We're talking about shadow transits.
A shadow transit. So that's when a moon passes in front of Jupiter and we see its shadow move across the planet.
That's it. It looks like a tiny, perfectly round black dot just crawling across Jupiter's bright clouds. It is one of the most dynamic things you can watch.
And the timing is great for us here in North America, right?
It's perfect.
Wow.
On Monday, January 5th, Io's shadow starts its journey around 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Then on Tuesday the 6th, Ganymede and its shadow get going around 9 p.m. Eastern.
So right after dinner, that's fantastic.
It really is. And if you're a night owl, the show keeps going. On the 7th, just before midnight, Europa and its shadow start their transit. Then early on the 10th, right around the moment of opposition itself, Callisto takes its turn just before 2 a.m.
Wow. Okay, so Jupiter's the main event locked in. But for anything fainter, we have to talk about the moon. The week started off right.
It did. We just came off the full Wolf supermoon on January 3rd.
Yeah.
Beautiful to look at, but all that moonlight it washes everything else out.
Which explains the problem with the quadranted meteor shower peak.
Yes, exactly. The peak was on the 3rd and 4th, and that supermoon just wrecked the view. You could only see the absolute brightest meteors. A bit of a bust this year.
But the good news is the moon is getting out of the way now.
Right. It's in its waning gibbous phase, heading for last quarter around January 10th. So each night, it rises a little later.
And that means darker skies earlier in the evening.
Darker skies. Perfect for Jupiter, perfect for fainter targets. And you might still get a chance to see a few quadrantids.
The shower does run through the 12th. So what's the strategy?
I'd say aim for the pre-dawn hours. Wait for the moon to set, then look toward the northeast. The quadrantids are known for producing really bright fireballs. So even seeing one or two can be spectacular.
There's something unique about their origin, too, isn't there? Most showers are from comets.
That's right. This is a great bit of trivia. The quadrantids come from an asteroid, 2003 EH1. Now, most of us think it's probably a dead comet, it's run out of gas, but technically, its parent is an asteroid.
And the name is a bit of a relic, too.
It is. It's named for an obsolete constellation, Quadrans Muralis, the Mural Quadrant. It's not on modern star charts, but the name stuck. Little piece of astronomical history.
Very cool. Okay, so let's shift to some other planets. We have to catch Saturn quickly, I hear.
Yes, you have to be out in the early evening. Look low in the western sky. It's an Aquarius, shining at about magnitude 1.0. A little challenging, but so worth it right now.
Why is that? What's special about the view?
It's the rings. They're almost edge on to us. We're talking a tilt of just 1 to 2 degrees. This only happens about every 15 years.
So instead of the big, broad rings, they look like a razor-thin line slicing the planet in half.
Exactly. It's a very stark, minimalist view. It really makes you focus on the globe of the planet itself. It's a fleeting, really special sight.
Okay, a must-see. Now, moving even further out, the ice giants. These are tough.
They are. For Uranus, you'll want good binoculars. It's in Taurus, not far from the Pleiades star cluster. It'll look like a tiny greenish disk.
And Neptune?
Neptune requires a telescope, for sure. It's very faint, magnitude plus 7.8 over in Pisces. You need a star chart or go-to scope to find that little bluish-gray dot.
And just a quick note, don't bother looking for Venus or Mars this week.
Nope. They are taking a vacation on the far side of the sun. Both are in what's called superior conjunction, so they're completely lost in the glare.
Got it. Okay, let's bring it much closer to home. The International Space Station is putting on a show.
Oh, it always does. The ISS is making several really bright passes over North America this week. It looks like a super bright star moving steadily across the sky.
And it doesn't blink, right? That's the key.
That's the key. No blinking like a plane. It can get incredibly bright, maybe even outshining Jupiter at its peak. Magnitude minus 3.5 or more.
And the best time to see it is twilight.
Exactly. Just after sunset or just before sunrise. That's when you're in the dark on the ground. But the station, 250 miles up, is still catching the sunlight.
Oh, these passes are super specific to your location. You can't just wing it.
No, you absolutely have to use a tracking tool. NASA's Spot the Station website is great. heavensabove.com, AstroViewer. They'll all give you the exact time, direction, and height for your city. It's non-negotiable for spotting it.
And speaking of things in orbit, it is a busy week for launches.
It really is. SpaceX is having a very active week. We're tracking 3 Starlink missions out of Florida on the 4th, 7th, and 10th.
And one from the West Coast, too.
Yep. A rideshare mission called Pandora Twilight is scheduled for the 11th out of Vandenberg in California. So a very busy start to the year.
Which is actually a perfect transition to the future of all this because the professionals are all getting together this week.
They are. The American Astronomical Society, the AAS, is having its 247th meeting in Phoenix. This is where NASA gives major updates on its flagship missions. It's a look at what's coming next.
And one of the biggest updates is about the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope.
Yes, scheduled to launch by September 2026. This thing is a game changer.
Why? What makes it so different from, say, Hubble?
It's the field of view. It is 100 times larger than Hubble's. 100 times.
Wow.
So instead of taking tiny snapshots, it takes these vast cosmic panoramas. It means we can survey huge areas of the sky incredibly quickly. It will revolutionize the hunt for exoplanets.
And we're also getting updates on the James Webb, which is just continuing to blow our minds.
Oh, absolutely. We'll get reviews of its ongoing science.
Yeah.
It's just rewriting the book on the early universe.
And then there's the one that's even further out, the Habitable Worlds Observatory.
The HWO. This is the big one. It's being designed with one primary goal: to look for signs of life, biosignatures, in the atmospheres of Earth-like planets around other stars.
That is the ultimate question. And before we wrap up, there was one other big piece of space tech news that kicked off the year.
That's right. On January 1st, the U.S. Space Force took formal control of the Long-Range Discrimination Radar in Alaska, the LRDR. It's mainly for missile defense, but the technology to track and identify objects in space with such high precision, well, that impacts everyone operating in space.
Okay, so to wrap up this deep dive, what are the core takeaways for our listeners this week?
Number 1 is Jupiter. It's the best it will be all year. It's close, it's bright, try to see it, and if you have a scope, try to catch one of those shadow transits.
And number 2, check out Saturn in the early evening for that really unique razor-thin view of its rings. And remember, The moon is helping us out, leaving the early evening darker and darker as the week goes on.
And as always, you don't need fancy gear. Your eyes are enough to see Jupiter shining brilliantly. Binoculars will show you its moons. Just get out there and look up.
And that brings us to our final thought. Building on that update about the Habitable Worlds Observatory, its whole purpose is to try and answer that one question. Are we alone?
So here's the thought. When you look at the incredible progress from JWST and you see how fast missions like Roman are coming together, you have to wonder, how close are we really to having the technology to get a definitive answer to that question? It feels like we're on the verge of being able to find out.
That's all for this month's NEAF Talks podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember, you don't need fancy equipment to enjoy the night sky. Your eyes, a pair of binoculars, or a small telescope can reveal wonders that have captivated humanity for thousands of years. For more information about astronomy events, equipment, and the annual Northeast Astronomy Forum Expo, visit rocklandastronomy.com and neafexpo.com. That's NEAF Expo.com. Clear skies, everyone, and happy observing.